This video will demonstrate how to install Skyrim Redone so that it is compatible with a number of other popular mods. So let's say, for example, that you want to play Skyrim with more weapons, more armor, more spells, and more types of enemies, all with SkyRe. Also, you want enemies to have access to the same new spells and perks that you do. I'll show you how to do that in this video. First, there is a number of prerequisites you'll need. First, you'll need Dawnguard and Dragonborn, as well as the Skyrim script extender, in order to satisfy a number of mod prerequisites. Also, you'll need a mod organizer such as Nexus Mod Manager or Rybash. You'll also need Rybash in order to generate a bashed patch, and you'll need loot to sort your load order. Now there's two difficult parts to this whole process. The first is just figuring out what you need to download, and the second is working with the SkyProc patchers. But for right now, let's cover the first item. First, you'll need Immersive Weapons, and it's just one download. Next is Immersive Armors, again, just one download. After that is the Apocalypse mod. Be sure to get the most recent version, which is not the top one, but this one right here. Apocalypse mod also has a SkyRe compatibility patch, so you'll want to pick that up as well. Next is the Immersive Creatures mod. It's just one download. In its documentation, it mentions that it's compatible with Skyrim Redone if it uses a bashed patch. So that's one reason we're using Rybash. Next is ASIS. It's just one download. If you look at the sticky post, it mentions that there are improved ini files. I would suggest using that here. The improved ini files makes ASIS more compatible with a number of the DLCs such as Dawnguard and Dragonborn, as well as the Immersive Creatures mod and SkyRe. Next is Skyrim Redone itself. It's just one download. SkyRe strongly recommends using the Skyrim community uncapper in order to make skill levels level up more appropriately for SkyRe. So pick this up as well. Now SkyRe changes stats on vanilla weapons and armor, but not those added in by mods such as Immersive Weapons and Immersive Armor. To fix this, you need to use the Reprocker, which can be found here. However, the Reprocker is kind of bad at reassigning stats on its own, so you need to help it out with this, the SkyRe compatibility and Reprocker patches, which you can get right here. However, the Reprocker patches do not fix Immersive Weapons and Immersive Armors on their own. You need to get a third mod in order for this to work, which is the Weapons and Armor Fixes Remade right here. Back at the Reprocker patches page, there are a number of other downloads you'll want to get. One is the unofficial Skyrim Redone patch and the XML edits only. Under updates, you want to get the Bone Mastery script fix, the Magic Sneak script fix, the Mine Ore script, and the pre and post Reprocker patch update since you're using Immersive Armors 7.1. Under optional files, you want to get Skyrim Immersive Creatures. Now that your files are downloaded, you should have 17 new mods in your Nexus Mod Manager, as well as 2 other files that you had to download manually. The next step is to activate the mods. And if there are any requirements for mods being activated in a certain order, I'll display that information right now. With that in mind, whenever you are asked to overwrite certain files, always say yes. When installing Skyrim Immersive Creatures, select both of these options since you have Skyrim, Dawnguard, as well as Dragonborn. Don't select the SkyRe crossbow fix because that fix is already in the Reprocker patches Skyrim Immersive Creatures which you downloaded. When installing Weapons and Armor Fixes Remade, Select this bottom option because you have Skyrim as well as both Dawnguard and Dragonborn DLCs. Under Options, select what you want, but I'm going to install all options. For here, select the Immersive Weapons selection since that's a mod that you have. And I'll install the README file. When activating Skyrim Redone, select all of the modules that you want to install. I want to use all of them except for the Survivalism because I don't use Frostfall. When installing the unofficial Skyrim Redone patch update, select all of the modules that you selected when you installed SkyRe, and I selected all of them. When installing SkyRe compatibility and reprocker patches, select this option because you have weapons and armor fixes remade, immersive armor, immersive weapons, and the SkyRe patch. This is why we needed weapons and armor fixes remade, is because there's no option for just immersive armor and immersive weapons. They all have Waffer as well. All these other options are for other mods. If you have them, take a look at them, but I don't have them, so I can skip those, I can skip these, and I can skip this. When installing the pre and post reprocker update, select this option because you have Immersive Armor 7.1, you don't have CCOR, and you do have Immersive Weapons. Don't select any of the XML replacers because the most recent version of the XML file is in this download right here. For the last two files, you'll have to manually install the scripts. For the Bone Mastery script fix, copy the data folder, navigate to your Skyrim installation folder, and paste the data folder here. And that'll want to merge the two folders. So say yes to that, and that'll replace the scripts. For the mine ore script, there's two of them. One of them is for if you do have CCOR, and the other one is if you don't. Since you don't, select this option. Copy the scripts folder and go into the Skyrim data folder and paste the script folder here. Again, it will want to merge the folders, so say yes. Now that your mods are installed, next comes probably the most complicated part of the installation, which is creating the bash patch and running all of the patchers in the correct order. So close out of the Nexus Mod Manager and run loot and sort the plugins. Okay, once loot is finished, run rybash. So in rybash, we're going to make a few changes. First, I'm going to move the SkyRe enemy AI to the very end of the load order because in general you want to have AI altering mods to be at the very end. Next, I'm going to deselect everything under the bashed patch, and they should be in this order. You want it to be the bashed patch, ASIS dependency, pre-reprocker, reprocker, post-reprocker, and then the AI mod that you're using, in my case enemy AI. That looks good, so I'm going to rebuild the patch. Okay, once the patch is built, the next step is to run the ASIS patcher. So first, activate the ASIS dependency plugin. Navigate to your Skyrim data folder and go to the Skyproc patchers folder. And in here you'll see two folders for ASIS and the reprocker. I'm going to create a shortcut to the desktop for both of them. And you should do this for the reprocker, at least create a shortcut for it, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Run ASIS, and you'll get the patcher to open with a number of options. The increased spawns will increase the number of spawns for vanilla creatures, and I want this option. the automatic perks and spells will allow NPCs to have access to the same perks and spells that you do that were added from mods such as SkyRe and Apocalypse mod. So I'm going to choose those because that's the whole reason I got ASIS. NPC potions will add potions to NPC inventories, and they can use those during battle. I like the sound of that, so I'll use that. Customize AI will make the AI smarter. I'm not going to choose this because I'm already using SkyRe's enemy AI module, and so I don't want to use two mods that do similar things. There might be conflictions there. Same thing for the spawn randomizer. That does similar things that the SkyRe encounter zones does, and so I don't want conflict, so I'm not going to choose that. And finally, the NPC enchant fix allows all NPCs to use enchantments and potions, so I'll choose that as well. Once ASIS is finished, run the Nexus Mod Manager again, and you'll see a new plugin down here called asis.esp. Move that right underneath the ASIS dependency and activate it along with the pre-reprocker and the reprocker, since that's the next patcher we're going to run. Before you run the reprocker, you'll want to edit its properties, edit the shortcut properties, and at the end of the target, past the quotation marks, enter space dash NOBOSS in capital letters and say apply. That will prevent the reprocker from running boss, which we don't want it to do because that could mess up our load order. So run the reprocker and select patch. Once it's done, run the mod manager one more time, and you can activate the last two plugins. And with that, SkyRe should be fully installed and configured with all of the mods that we wanted to run with it.